Did you know that a healing journey, your healing journey, can transform every aspect of your life? Healing can help you rediscover your true, authentic self. But have you ever thought about what that really means to heal? Today, we're going to unpack some of those early stages of the healing process, no matter where you are on your healing journey. We're going to explore the power of alignment and attunement, and focusing on energies such as unconditional love and above, and how doing so can profoundly transform our lives. Join me as we embark on an enlightening journey where healing and self-discovery intertwine. This is Claire Newman from New Possibilities, where we are learning to move from surviving to thriving. Thank you for joining me today. When I think of healing, the simplest analogy is that of a wound on our physical body, and that usually heals without too much effort on our part. However, we know that there are wounds of the unseen nature, the emotional and mental wounds, the wounds in our psyche, the soul, our heart. And of course, as everything is interconnected, this also impacts all aspects of us. I wanted to talk a little bit about the importance of commitment in healing. In the early stages of healing, we've already spoken about the importance of finding a compelling reason. And what we're really talking about here is making a commitment, making a decision that I am going to heal. I'm going to choose to go on this journey. Now that choice is key, and without deciding that I'm going to do that and I'm going to do it here and now, deep healing at that core level doesn't really occur. Today I want to unpack alignment and attunement because they are misunderstood. Now, we are always aligned and always attuned to something. Think of alignment as plotting a destination between A and B, like a sailor on a boat. You are here at point A and you want to get to point B. We set that intention of which direction you want to go in, and that becomes your alignment. It's like the direction on the map that you're going to plot and guide yourself by. Think of attunement like a radio signal, and when you tune into that radio broadcast, you're tuning into a particular frequency. We know what it's like when we can tune into a radio station and it's a little fuzzy, or when it hits that sweet spot and it's crystal clear. Now, if we don't plot a destination, are you still aligned? Yes, of course. The sailor on that sailboat is still in the ocean, but the current of the tide is moving him or her. He is not exerting any momentum or self-determination of where he wants to go. So he could end up anywhere, just buffeted by the prevailing winds and by the ocean. Whether we are consciously aligning or not, we are still aligned to something. If you're choosing nothing, then you're aligned to nothing. So if you're not consciously tuning into a radio station, you can be picking up any static or noise, and that vibration and frequency will influence you. In the early stages of healing, when I talk about making a commitment or a decision and finding that reason why you will keep going, that is part of our alignment. We align to a healing focus. With our attunement, we're consciously tuning into the frequencies of healing, of the new, of deciding to be different. Remember, if something feels familiar, it's not the new. So use that awareness to reorient your alignment and attune to that new potential, to that new possibility. Just make that decision to heal and know where we are starting from. This course is plotted naturally. We don't have to get in the way of that or micromanage anything. For example, if you've injured your arm, healing's going to occur, but we don't know how long that's going to take. We don't know what the journey will look like. You don't know the final destination. So we do have to let go of expectations. Now, you may have heard of the law of manifestation. What you put your focus on is what you're going to manifest. So if we put our focus on, I'm choosing to heal, I'm going to heal whatever is injured within, I am going to heal. This is where that focus, energy and attention is going to shift accordingly. Conversely, if you dwell on how broken you feel, the damage you've experienced, or how flawed you believe you are, that negative focus will manifest, growing and multiplying like a cancer. It can become the lens through which you view the world and yourself. Part of our self-determination, part of those early stages of healing is making that choice of alignment and attunement. Our experiences will not encumber us, and it's possible to heal if we choose to do so. I'd like to talk about an example in my early career. I worked in a brain injury rehab unit in the UK, and it was a fantastic unit with 6 wards where patients were expected to move through each ward within 18 months to 2 years. I was struck by so many patients who'd been stuck in that system, stuck in a ward for many years, sometimes decades. But there was a patient that came along, and I'll call him Mark. He was different. He was a young man in his 20s. He'd had a stroke. He was engaged to be married. He had a successful career, a loving family, but all of his goals and dreams disappeared when he'd had that stroke. It changed the course of his direction. He was admitted into the highest tier of the brain injury unit, needing high intense care. Within 6 months, he'd moved down to the pre-community ward. I took an interest in him. I studied Mark and the others to look for what he was doing differently. Part of that was his decision to heal, focusing on where he was going. Mark felt sadness, and I saw that in the therapy sessions. He felt sadness at what he'd lost. He grieved, he mourned, but he also accepted his present state, his present place of where he was, and made that decision to move forward from there. So he aligned to that. He chose to only tune into messages of what was possible and surrounded himself with ones who would uplift and support him. Mark didn't know how long that journey would be or how that would end. We don't know that. It's like a sailor who's going on this exploratory journey. That sailor might have some idea of where they would like to explore. They know where they're starting. They know a rough idea of where they're going, but they don't know what they'll find when they get there. That's part of the discovery. That's part of the hero's journey. This is how you develop character. You embark on a journey and it teaches you something, and it can change for the better. So we can't rush ahead. Neither can we pretend that we are already healed, because that's an illusion. It's denial. We need to acknowledge the reality of the situation. It's like wanting to plot a journey from London to Edinburgh. Well, that only works if you're actually in London. If you're in Birmingham, no amount of accurate planning is going to get you there. So we've got to be honest. We've got to be real. That acknowledgement and being truthful is essential. So let's talk a little bit more about attunement. So where we're consciously attuning to a radio frequency. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about an actual radio, but it's a good analogy. So we can attune to anything. We can attune to lower vibrational energy, connecting to a signal in a radio broadcast of fear, doubt, criticism, sabotage. You might have many inner critic voices telling you that you can't do this. You're a worthless piece of, you know what. You might have heard that from someone, either in your present or in your past experience, and it's become an internalized part of your inner monologue, which we call the inner critic. It might be those little whispers on the airwaves that you're unconsciously picking up. It might not even be something that's within you. Do you want to tune into that? Is it helpful? I don't think that's helpful. So on a healing and learning discovery journey, you get to choose what you're tuning into, and you can raise that vibration. I'm only going to tune into energy that's unconditional love and above, which is the bandwidth of love that's offered freely without expectation of return. Now, we may not feel that in our present life, but we can set that boundary as a benchmark. But it is all around us. It's the very building blocks of the universe. So we can connect to that energy of unconditional love and above, not from the mind. You're not tuning in with the mind. It's not a thinking thing. You're just setting a boundary, an intention, a standard for yourself. So let's look at this and compare two people, not in a better or worse way, but just to explore. One person recognizes that they've had some experiences in the past, but they recognize that they need to address some things as they're aware that there's some impacts in the here and now. And they're tired of those impacts. They want something new. It's like going on that voyage, but I'm not really prepared. I don't have my crew with me. I don't have my inner and my outer crew with me. I'm not really sure where I'm going. I just know I don't want to be here. I want to get away from this space. Obviously, they're starting from a place of negativity, from a place of judgment. Now, that's an okay starting point to launch off from. It can get some momentum, but ultimately that needs to evolve. Let's look at their attunement. They're unaware that they're picking up on fear-based, critical, sabotaging frequencies. They're unaware that they're attuning to frequencies on that fear-based bandwidth, like whispers in the airwaves, the whispers of the mind, telling them that they can't, they're worthless, they'll never get through this. You know, they might have some good thoughts, but these negative ones drown them out, or it's like this battle. Now let's imagine someone else, same position, knows and is aware of some impacts and that they want to heal. They're just as tired and fed up of where they are. They don't want to be here in this position either. But they focus on, no, I don't want this. I want something new. I want to heal, to be whole. My final destination is somewhere where I am clearer, brighter, higher, wiser, more loving, shining, vibrant, more powerful, potent, strong. You know, I'm getting to that place. I don't know how, but I'm going there. And you know what? I'm just going to tune into those supportive frequencies and energies. Like, things are going to get tough. There's going to be some big waves, some dark nights. So I need as much support as I can get. I need a supportive inner and outer team. I'm only going to really, truly receive and be open to people, energy, thoughts that are going to uplift and support me on my journey. Both an approach, both starting at the same place, both wanting to heal, yet their approach, the alignment, their attunement is vastly different. So hopefully you'll be able to feel and see that the person consciously choosing that alignment and what they're going to attune to is going to go on that same voyage. It's the same journey, the same exploration. Yet when they face those obstacles, those choppy oceans, challenging weather, they're just in a better place to sail through with more grace and ease. You might even be able to circumnavigate some of those choppy oceans and weather conditions. It doesn't mean the person on this journey is going to avoid feelings. They still have to traverse those seas, go through that process and call back that energy and feelings that have been sequestered away. It's still a challenging journey ahead for all of us. It can feel like a dark night of the soul sometimes, but this is what we normally call the emergency stage, where a lot of buried feelings come up. So those two people, they go through the same journey, they face the same obstacles, still their experience is going to be really different. The duration of that journey is typically also different because the person with a clear, focused alignment is setting that direct course. If I refer back to Mark, his journey was quicker because he set that direct course. You're going to get buffeted if you don't have a direct course or a direction. It's like a meandering sailor in a boat on an ocean. It's too easy to get distracted by other people with stronger wills. We're in a society with more potent messages like bearing down on you. No, you don't need to have a sense of direction. We have plenty of mechanisms to help you numb out and get a temporary quasi-form of self-soothing. Buy this, inject this, drink that, screw them, go unconscious, distract yourself over there, blame that person. There's just so many messages on a social and cultural level that are being beamed at us to avoid and distract. So we really need that strong alignment and attunement to keep clear and keep going. Because this journey in parts is a challenge. The rewards are great. The challenge of that journey is that it can build our character. It changes us in really positive ways. That sailor going out to sea and on that voyage is going to be changed by that. They'll be changed by facing difficult situations and getting through them. So it's not something to be feared. I do know from clients I've worked with and myself that survivors of abuse can fear that journey. Like they fear remembering something they don't want to remember. And that's okay. Remember, something only ever really comes when you're truly ready. Sometimes after processing that feeling, the memory comes for context. but you've gone through the feeling then. But sometimes we don't remember. That's not truly needed for healing to occur. But as a reminder, you're already feeling the impacts. You're already living the impacts. It's already in your energy matrix. So that healing journey is about removing that and being unencumbered, like to be free, to be free. It's like when you go to university and you write those assignments at crazy o'clock at night. You go to the library, battle through that resistance and inertia, clean the back of the fridge to avoid what you need to do. You pick yourself back up, get back on track, you turn up at your lectures, you do the work, you finally write the dissertation and that thesis, and it's like you hand it in. It's like a labour of love that you've birthed, and it will have developed and changed you. A good education course does that. It changes you. You look back at yourself from the beginning to the end of university, you're different. You've been on a journey. The challenges has changed you. Well, the same is true for your healing journey. It's okay if you have moments of trepidation or anxiety, but let's get some of that starting foundation correct first. That's our alignment, my decision, my choice to heal. I'm aligning to the highest, clearest, brightest potential of all that I am. I see myself as healed. I align to myself as healed, stronger, brighter, wiser, more loving, more compassionate, more patient. I'm attuned to only something that's supportive, nourishing and uplifting in that unconditional love, energetic bandwidth. I'm going to set myself up for success in that way. I'll keep focusing on my alignment and what I'm attuning to on a regular basis, at least every day. Highly recommend at regular times during the day. I used to set it up to activities that I did a lot, like every time I pick up a glass of water, going to the bathroom or walking through a doorway, acting as this kind of reminder to reset, breathe, check your compass. Am I still oriented on that correct course? With this process, victimized feelings will come up and they're going to feel the complete opposite of self-determination. It's going to feel collapsed and hopeless and unable to make a choice, but they get held within that alignment and in that attunement. That's part of the magic of alchemical healing. No matter what has happened in the past, no matter what, in the here and now, and this is where we can take our power back. I hope that's helpful. Just have a moment, ponder what you're aligned to, what you're going to attune to. We are attuning all the time. If you pick something up that's not of that unconditionally loving, nourishing bandwidth, be that thoughts or whispers, you can simply say no. No, thank you. No, stop. No, I'm not buying into that. I have the ability now to say no. I can reset. Every moment is an opportunity to re-choose, to come back to that new choice. I'm only going to receive something that's supportive and nourishing. If it's not love, it's not the truth. That's where we come back to those ingredients of the universe where we're all made of God stuff and love stuff. So if it's not that on a fundamental level, then it's not the truth. We align ourselves to a higher truth. We can create a reality for ourselves where we're healed, stronger, wiser, brighter. That's something in a free will universe I can choose. I can make that my choice. It is possible. And that journey, as soon as you make that decision, it kind of pulls you along to that place. It's like this magnetic force field and you're kind of docking in like Scotty beam me up. It's a co-creatorship. We've still got to play our part. Like that sailor still has to sail the ship, but it's in partnership with the ocean, with the nature currents. It comes back to that spirit of physis that I have spoken about before and wrote an article about on the Conscious Evolution website. I hope that's helpful. Thank you for joining me. We're going to unpack some more of these themes in future videos. So just briefly, why I offer these videos is from a motive of service to give back. I know that not everyone can afford therapy or access therapy, whether that's down to location or accessibility. So whilst this is not a replacement for that one-on-one connection with someone, I do hope that this offers some form of support and help to you guys. So thank you very much. I hope you'll join me in I'm hoping that we build a community here, that we go on this healing journey together, step by step.